What is up, y'all? Welcome on back to another recap and review of Dandadan Season 2. I'm going to be recapping and reviewing episode number 9. I want to rebuild the house. Season 2 is shaping up to be the best season out of the two that we have gotten so far. Loving just about every single episode that Season 2 has had to offer. The previous episode, not the biggest fan of that, where it was like the little training arc episode with Okarun and Ira, along with Turbo Granny. Wasn't the biggest fan of that episode, but I am loving just about every single episode of the season. Number 9 is no different. This is, I don't want to say it's my favorite. It's up there. This is the upper echelon for season 2 for me. Episode 9. Let's go ahead and jump into this recap. So before we start, if you have not watched episode 9 of season 2, this is where you push pause, go watch it, and then come back once you have caught up, because obviously I am going to be talking full spoilers from this point forward. So episode 8 ended with Okarun challenging Evil Eye to a duel, and it was that rematch that we've been wanting since the very beginning of the season, and this episode did not disappoint with the rematch. And honestly, it didn't last as long as I thought it would. Shout out to that. I was expecting this to really carry out through the entire episode, and it was really just the first third, maybe 2/3 of the episode. It was not a long fight whatsoever. Okarun matches Evil Eye's strength and they destroy Seiko's house, leaving Evil Eye wanting to continue the duel. Okarun refuses and compromises on fighting him once a week, which Evil Eye begrudgingly accepts. The animations throughout this fight, look, the animations throughout the entire series is just so damn good. This episode, it's up there. It's up there. This might be some of my favorite animations from the series so far. The color palette just really pops off the screen in all of these fight sequences, especially when you have the purplish hues and you got Okarun's reddish hues. Just doing those two color palettes together makes for some really great animation, some really great fight choreography and design there. So I really enjoyed how the fight looked just by itself. This is one of the best fights that we've had in the series so far. And again, the one thing that I'm just kind of not upset, disappointed would be the word that I would use. And it's because the fight was so good, I wanted it to last a little bit longer. Shout out to that as well. Okarun absolutely kicked Evil Eye's ass during this fight like a real fucking G. Evil Eye loved the fight so much that he even wants to continue the fighting, tells Okarun to bring back the other guy once he goes back to his normal form from the yokai form. He's like, hey, give me the other guy. Let's continue this fighting. I love how Okarun pivots and is like, nah, I'm not fighting you. I don't beat on the weak. I'm stronger than you, so there's no point in even fighting. That to me is an absolutely bold move, Cotton. Bold fucking move, dude. Like, I was not expecting this to be how that fight just eventually stopped. Like, how they end up stopping Evil Eye, quote unquote, once and for all. And then you have everybody in the background. You got Seiko, Manjaro, Momo, Ira. All of them are just in absolute disbelief that Okarun is straight up bullying Evil Eye into thinking that he's weak. And Evil Eye claims that he will get stronger from this point forward and they will fight again. Okarun tells Evil Eye that he can't fight anybody from this point forward and that he is only to fight Okarun. And this scene is just, it's pretty funny, actually, considering the fact that Evil Eye, who has been an absolute menace the entire season so far, and badass, I might say, he's now acting like a child and throwing an absolute temper tantrum about him not being strong and that he just wants to fight Okarun and prove to him that he can beat him. After the fight, leave it to Ira to completely ruin a huge moment. Actually, that's probably exaggerating how big that moment was. I wouldn't say a huge moment, but it was a nice little stepping stone for that relationship between Momo and Okarun. And Ira just comes up in there and just, in her true Ira fashion, just ruins the moment. Momo was trying to get Okarun to really confess some feelings, and of course, Ira can't have that happen. So her and Momo end up getting in like a little tussle. They do that whole name calling shit yet again, calling each other a skank, ugly. It's the same stuff from the last few episodes. Whenever they get in a fight, they just call each other the same names over and over again. But nonetheless, I still like it because it does bring some of that silly humor to the show that I really do enjoy. I just wish we would have gotten that moment between Okarun and Momo where he finally says something to her about his feelings. That would have been nice, not gonna lie. But I'm not completely upset by this moment because it was a little bit of levity that the episode definitely needed. And then after all of that, we have Turbo Granny, Momo, and Seiko doing it's a little bit something different to this show. And I say it every single week, but I'm going to keep bringing it up. And that is the slice of life aspects or elements that they have with this show, with this series. Some of the best that I've seen in an anime, period. And this episode is no different. They bring out some of those elements here that we really haven't seen in previous episodes, where the three are just absolutely exhausted. So, what better way to rest, relax, rejuvenate than to take a super bathhouse trip? So, all three of them go on this little trip, and we get a little montage of them getting massages, visiting a hot spring, and apparently, like, this was all the money that they had left, and now they can't fix the house, which, again, some good silly humor for sure, but it just works within the context of the show. Okarun and Ira return with Peeny Weenie to help Momo and Seiko rebuild their house. Momo and Okarun discuss how the house has become a place of belonging for their newfound friendships. We then have this moment between Momo and Okarun after the house has been rebuilt. It's a great, simple moment between these two characters. It's nice to see these two characters really build on that relationship just slowly. It's little breadcrumbs here or there, but it's something every single episode just about that we get a little bit of movement forward with the relationship. This is nothing groundbreaking by any means, but Momo is telling him to come over anytime. They're laughing together. It's just a nice little moment that I really enjoyed. It was almost like the perfect capper to the arc of Evil Eye. He just got beat. They rebuilt the house. They're kind of enjoying each other's company. And she's like, hey, just come over anytime. And Okarun is like, you betcha. It's just nice seeing these two interact, being playful, and making just minor steps in their relationship. Sometime later, Jiji shares to Momo just how well that Evil Eye has been behaving with the compromise with Okarun, only for Momo to see a mischievous Evil Eye taking control on their way to school. Momo is forced to look after Evil Eye while keeping his possession of Jiji a secret. Look, it's no surprise. I've been talking about it all season. I think Evil Eye is definitely one of my favorite characters of the show. I think just off the top of my head, you have to put Momo number one, Okarun right below her, put Turbo Granny in that conversation of best characters. I like Seiko a lot, but I would put Evil Eye right above her. I think he's just so interesting, especially the backstory that we got at the very beginning of this season really helps you find that character more interesting, makes you connect to that character a little bit more than if they just hadn't given us that backstory at all. So I love Evil Eye a lot. I think he has a little bit of a personality change here, and I'm not completely mad at it whatsoever. We go from this really badass, I want to butcher everybody, and now he's kind of taken on the persona of Jiji a little bit, where he's a little bit more playful, a little bit more silly. And honestly, I think it works for this character a lot more with this personality change than it did at the very beginning of the season. And in fact, I think I would prefer the silliness of Evil Eye over the silliness of Jiji. I think his silliness just goes way too far. I know I've complained about it so much. I'm not a big fan of Jiji and just the comedy that comes with him. I like him when he's more serious. So I'm completely okay with them separating those two characters here and making Jiji a more sympathetic character while making Evil Eye the more playful, silly character. But that personality change is going to end up being a great addition to that main group of characters, I believe. I love how he just starts asking people if they want to get butchered, just randomly walks up to somebody, hey, do you want to get butchered? I thought it was hilarious. And then he goes all out on the soccer field, just absolutely devastating folks. The episode went to left field in almost an instant, and I absolutely loved it. It was also hilarious seeing Evil Eye freak the hell out over just how great a drink tasted. And we got Momo over here trying to teach him how to be normal in school. Just all of those little moments between Evil Eye and Momo, so damn good. It was definitely a little bit of I don't want to say detour, that's not the word I want to use, but it was definitely a little bit of a change of pace in comparison to what we thought this episode was going to be. And I'm not mad at it. I thought they did a great job of really utilizing Evil Eye in a different way with this episode. We have the fight, and then we have some somber moments with the main group of characters, and then they bring back Evil Eye for the back end of the episode where he bonds, so to speak, with Momo. And let's not forget, Gigi straight up asked Momo if she has a crush, and she has this dead look on her face. She ends up going, no, I don't have a crush. And Gigi just sees right through those lies. He knows that Okarun is the man in town. And then how about that ending? We finally get a mention of Okarun's last testicle. I mean, he's been missing one of his balls since last season. I think it was it last episode or was it the episode before that? I had mentioned that, we really haven't talked about Okarun's balls at all in season 2. So I was wondering when that would come back into the mix. And here we are. With the last few episodes of the season, it is coming back into the fray. And that's how the episode ends. I can't wait for the rest of the season. I think it's going to end on a very high note with just how these episodes have been presented to us. I mean, we get 3-4 episodes back to back that are really great. We get a couple of ones that they're not amazing by any means, but they're still really great in comparison to other animes that I like. And then we have one really great episode, then we have a stinker, we have this episode. So I think the season's going to end on a high note. We got 3 more episodes left in the season. I didn't realize that we were so close to the end until I went to record this episode. I was like, oh, damn, 3 more episodes, and I'm going to have to wait another year to continue this storyline. It makes me want to go read the manga that much more. And as soon as I finish Attack on Titan, I am thinking I'm going to jump into Dandadan and the manga because I really want to know where this story goes from this point forward. But nonetheless, I am really excited for the last few episodes of season 2. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Gigi, Evil Eye. I have no idea. I have no idea where the season's going, and I love it. I think it is absolutely fantastic to have a show, a series, where I'm not able to predict what's going to happen with every single episode. I think this episode is really a testament to that, considering the fact that I was not expecting them to just end the fight all willy-nilly, with Okarun basically challenging Evil Eye to multiple fights and saying, hey, you're weak. I'm not going to beat you up unless you get stronger. So how about you train and then we'll fight once a week? Was not expecting that. I don't know what I expected, but that was not it. So yeah, guys, what did you think about episode 9? Leave me a comment down below. And while you're there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That's really going to help us out. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that you know when the next recap and review drops. And if you want to consider supporting us, patreon.com/2game is where you can do that. You get access to the audio-only podcast of all of our episodes. Well, except the trailer reactions, but that's neither here nor there. You get the audio-only formats for all of our content, and it's to help a good cause, It's to help keep the lights on, they say. But regardless, I appreciate y'all joining me for this review, and I will catch y'all next time on the next one. Laters.